All right, well, good morning and welcome to the Tempo 5 Prospecting and Client Gateway webinar. My name is Jeff Bell. I'm one of the lead national trainers with CoreLogic. I'm based out of Tampa, Florida. And today we're going to kind of cover some of the things you're going to need to ensure that you're able to continue to do the same thing you were doing in your current system in the new Tempo 5 system. So that means confirming that your contacts were brought over, that your searches were brought over, and that they are set to automatically search and email your client or email yourself listings that match the criteria. Now, so as we get into that, one of the kind of most important resources that you're going to need to remember is the website www.pikespeakrsc.com. And of course, that's going to be your resource, your one-stop shop for finding out all the information you need to regarding the beta testing period for the new Tempo 5 system, okay? So the beta testing hasn't started yet, but it should be starting very, very soon. And so you can find out more information as far as when it's going to start, as well as helpful documentation from that particular website. Now, Tempo 5 will automatically be populated with your current prospect or contact information, so that will be brought over as I alluded to earlier. You will also have your saved searches brought over into the new Tempo 5 system for the beta testing period. And they will continue to stay in there after the beta test period as well. Now, new contacts and searches will automatically populate into Tempo 5 from your current MLS during the beta review process. So that means while you have the access to the two systems, if you enter a new contact or search in your current system, it will update into the T5 or Tempo 5 system. Now, it will not go in reverse. It's kind of a one-way update. So again, if you enter something, you don't have to double enter it into the Tempo 5 system as well. You can just enter it into your new system if you want to, or just enter it into Tempo 5, because those contacts are not going to go away when your current system does go away, and then you're just using Tempo 5. Those contacts will remain in there. So if you want to start exclusively using it for contact and start saving your searches in there, you're more than welcome to do that, and actually that's not a bad idea at all. Now, those contacts and searches modified in your current MLS system will not be updated in Tempo 5. So what that simply means is if you go in and you add a phone number, or you correct the spelling of a last name of a contact, or you go in and modify a search criteria as far as maybe changing the price range or what have you, those will not be updated in the Tempo 5 system during your beta test period. So modifications will need to be duplicated in the Tempo 5 system as well if you want them to reflect that modification. Now, for more information on all of this, you feel free to go to the document labeled How to Retain Saved Searches and Prospects from the Conversions Headquarters section of www.pikespeakrsc.com. So again, that website that we referred to earlier, there is a section called Conversion Headquarters, and in there are several different documents and videos available for you to review that should really help you during this transition period. But the one related to this particular workshop is labeled How to Retain Saved Searches and Prospects, and that's going to give you a lot of background information on what's going to happen during the beta test period regarding your prospect saved searches. Now, the auto notification portion of all of this is going to work as follows. Auto notification from your current MLS system will continue to run. Auto notification from those searches brought into Tempo 5 are not activated. So again, your searches that are brought over, those are not set to auto notify because we don't want your clients receiving double notifications regarding the same listings. So it's turned off in Tempo 5. However, you do have the ability to turn that on or to activate it in Tempo 5 should you choose. But it's suggested if you go in and do that, that you turn it off in your current system. And remember, the listing data is being updated. It is live current information. So you can start to use Tempo 5 for auto notifications for your clients, and you can trust the data that's in there. It's just that you don't want to double notify your clients. So if you are going to go that route, start using Tempo 5 right now for auto notifications, then I would suggest turning it off in your current system. Now let's go in and look at the information live here and go into Tempo 5 and take a look and see how it works now regarding your auto notification, your contacts, and your saved searches. So I'm going to open up the Internet Explorer I have already set up and logged in. Now let's talk about Tempo 5 and how Tempo 5 utilizes your saved searches and your contacts. Now in Tempo 5, it's a little different philosophy as far as contacts, saved searches, prospects, so on and so forth. Tempo 5 is really kind of set up so that you're able to go in and save a contact, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with a saved search. Okay, it has a contact management system built in, so you can have contacts in here that have nothing to do with a customer per se. Meaning, it could be a service that you utilize. It could be a pest control company that you utilize for the listings that you have, or an inspection company, or a house cleaning company, or what have you. You can set up various different contacts in the system and use it almost like an electronic Rolodex card, where it will again house all that information, and you don't have to go to a specific computer to pull it up. Any computer you go to that has internet access, just go to that has Internet Explorer and internet access. Just go to your Tempo 5 login, and all of your contacts are going to be listed there. So you can utilize it just as a contact manager if you like. The other thing is, saved searches. The system regards saved searches as a complete entity in and of itself. So I can save several searches that have nothing to do with the contact. So these could be searches that I run myself. Could be a north side search, could be a west side search, could be a particular subdivision that I like to search a lot. So you can go in and save several different searches, as many as you want, and again, not attach them to a contact record. Now, the process of attaching a search when you save a search to a contact, that's what we refer to as a prospect search. So just like you're used to, you can still go in, excuse me, you can still go in and save a search and attach it to a contact that you have in the system, and that's going to be referred to as a prospect search. So you still have that capability in the system, but now it's a lot more flexible in that you can kind of choose for a particular scenario what you want to do. Now, during this transition period or the beta testing period, what you're going to want to do is basically kind of make sure that your information was brought over correctly. So before you get going and start, saving new contacts and saving new searches, you want to make sure that the ones that you've had in your current system were brought over and are displaying properly. So the first thing we're going to do is, how do you go in and check and make sure that your searches are correct in the system? Well, that's easy enough. All you have to do is just click on the actual search module. When you click the search module, it's going to open up, and the default search type is going to be residential. Okay, it's going to be residential. Now, if you want to check searches for a different property type, then you're going to click on the down arrow next to where it says property type, and you're going to choose that property type. But if you just want to confirm the searches for residential, leave it on residential, and then right here it says search. You're going to click on the down arrow, and it's going to give you a list of all the searches you saved in the system. Okay? It's going to give you a list of all the searches that you saved within your current system, and they're going to be divided depending upon how you save the search or why you save the search. Now, when I say divided, I simply mean you have a section that says System Search. System Search would be a series of searches that were saved by RSC or say within your office or whatever. These are searches that can't be changed. These are default searches, and so you can't go in and change those, but you can pull it up whenever you want to, and you can also make changes to it and save a copy of it. So you can always go in and modify that search and make a copy of it, but you can't make permanent changes and save and rename the system default searches. So those are going to be listed at the top. Then you have your custom searches, and these are searches that you've created that may or may not have criteria in it. These are searches that are saved that aren't necessarily attached to a record. Okay. You also have searches, that are active searches, and these would be searches that you have the auto notification turned on for. So these are set to automatically search. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to email out, but it does mean that you have it set to automatically search for you. Then you also have prospect searches that are inactive or expired. So these would be searches that are attached to a contact record but are not set to automatically go out and look for listings. So the system will divide that out for you, which is kind of good because, again, over time you're going to have several different searches saved in here. If someone is no longer a client, it doesn't mean you have to go and clean everything out. You can keep those searches, but at least they're not in the way. They're not being mixed in there with your live current searches. Now, so this is a list of your searches, and if you want to see any particular search to make sure the criteria is correct in there, then just kind of click on that search, and it's going to load up the criteria for you. And the key here is for you to go in and make sure that the criteria is correct and make sure it still makes sense. Meaning when you go in and you look at list price, you see right here it says in thousands. So if the check mark is in thousands, then you don't need the last 3 zeros. If it's unchecked, then you do need the last 3 zeros. So that's what I mean by make sure it makes sense. So if I have 200,000 to 300,000 in here, and I've got the last 3 zeros, and I have this check, then that's not 300,000. That's 300 million. Okay. So you want to make sure that, again, that makes sense to you. Look at the other criteria and make sure it kind of falls in the same range that you've set up in your current system. You also want to go, if it's an address you put in there. If I go to enter multiple addresses, this is where you can see the addresses. And you want to make sure the operators are set correctly, okay? So it says starts with, equals, contains. This is a big thing in Tempo and a big difference from your previous system in that we don't use wildcards anymore. So we use what we call operators. So that would be your starts with, your equals, your contains, contains all, in some instances, not equals, not containing. And these are really very, very helpful because they help to add flexibility to your search criteria. I'll give you one quick example. In Tampa, we have a lot of street names that are like St. Peter or St. John or US 45 or State Road, what have you. And I don't necessarily know how the listing agent typed that in. So if I'm looking for something that's on St. John, I don't know if the listing agent put in ST, ST period, SAINT, but I know regardless of how they put it in, they had to type the word John. So I would just search by John, and I would switch the operator to contains. So again, my search criteria would be any street containing the word John. It doesn't matter how they put stuff on the front or how they put stuff on the back, as long as it contains those 4 letters in that order somewhere in the street name, I'm going to get it along with the bedrooms and the price and all that other stuff that you specify, the area. Okay? And I'm going to cancel out of here. So when I say operators, every criteria has a set of operators. So when you go in and you confirm your criteria, make sure that your operators, again, make sense and follow along with the criteria that you have entered. If it's a price range, again, and you want it between one number and another, make sure it's not on equals. Make sure it's not on minimum or maximum. Make sure it's set to between. Okay?